Welcome to Hockey Night in New York, where Islanders hockey always reigns supreme. Whether you were raised at the barn in Uniondale or born in the stable at Belmont, Hockey Night in New York is your home for all things Isles. Now, let's drop the puck and get this party started.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is Hockey Night in New York, presented by Ownwell, and we are hanging out at Borelli's Tap Room in Long Beach. Packed house here for USA versus Germany. We're ready to have a good time. My name is Sean Cuthbert. With me today is Mr. Jake Redonis and Edzo over there on the board, and our special guest join us a little bit later on, Cal Clutterbuck, the great New York Islander, will be joining us in about 15 minutes. Welcome to the show, everybody. We are stoked to get going. Welcome to Borelli's Tap Room. We're going to get you ready for USA versus Germany. So let's go. Before we get in to the main part of the show here, I want to thank our wonderful sponsors, starting with Ownwell. Easy, low cost, and effective. Reduce your property taxes at Ownwell.com. Also proud to be sponsored by Razor Kniff and Launstein, ready to fight for you. Check them out at razorandkniff.com. That is RAISERANDKENNIFF.com for a free consultation. And if you happen to be hanging out with us live in the chat on YouTube and you want to get your questions in for Questions Brewing, type in Questions Brewing, followed by your question, and we will get to that question later on in the show. So with the pleasantries out of the way, Jake Redonis, buddy, how we doing, pal?
Doing well. It feels fitting to be here in Long Beach, home of star defenseman Charlie McAvoy for this game.
Yes, absolutely. Excited to see what happens today. Big tilt tonight, obviously, USA versus Germany. US has won their first two so far. This is probably going to be their toughest test so far in these Olympics.
It definitely is, for sure. But they see the task that's ahead of them here today. They can solidify that top four spot, get a bye right to the quarterfinals. So they just got to get to their game quick and early. I think they've been struggling with that a little bit in the first two games. If they get out there quick and early, I think they're going to have no problem with Germany today.
I'm with you on that. Now let's talk about the games that happened already. Let's go back to the 12th here. USA versus Latvia. That's a 5-1 win. The score looked appropriate, but a little tough out of the gate there, right?
Yeah.
It didn't go as easy right there in the beginning. Hellebuck was in net. You have Brady Tkachuk opened up the scoring there. Latvia tied it 2 minutes later, though, right away. So you get a little bit nerves going for USA. You're like, hey, what's going on here? Why aren't they pulling away? Latvia gives them a little bit of trouble there. But then US opens it up in the second period. A Tage Thompson power play goal sandwich between two Brock Nelson goals.
Oh, my goodness.
They finally open it up there, and USA finally starts to look like the team they're supposed to look like. Austin Matthews adds a little more insurance early in the third period. They get the 5-1 win in regulation.
It was great. I mean, that Tage Thompson goal was disgusting, right?
Yes, it
in front
was.
of the net like that. Also great to see Brock Nelson getting on the score sheet twice.
Yes.
That was awesome. Just a great team effort. They did come out a little sluggish, I thought. But, I mean, when you're playing, you don't play together all the time. So, you got to get your legs together. And they look good after that second period on.
For sure. Now let's talk about that second Brock Nelson goal. Beauty of a play here, a little tic-tac-toe, almost looked too nice.
Oh, yeah.
Like they drew it up, right? But you basically have the pucks going back and forth between Jack Hughes, Quinn Hughes, Matt Tkachuk, back to Jack Hughes, gets it across to Brock Nelson, dances in, pots the puck in, and the USC team is flying there. Beautiful goal.
That was beautiful, yeah. And, I mean, Jack Hughes, I think he's been maybe the U.S. top player in this tournament. Him and Quinn being able to snap the puck around has been a beauty to watch. It's always cool to see brothers playing together. I was very happy that Brock was the one who finished that one off for us, too.
Yes, and we obviously have a pair of brothers with Matt Tkachuk getting healthy, him and Brady playing. Brady's been playing great so far. And yes, the Hughes brothers look good as well. And there were some questions behind, how Jack was going to show up. Obviously, he suffered some injuries earlier on, but also just what kind of Jack Hughes were we going to get heading into this tournament, and so far he's looked very well.
Absolutely, yeah. He looks like the Jack Hughes of seasons past. It doesn't look like he's tinkering with any more injuries. He's looked great. I think he's going to be a big force today for them as well.
I agree. Let's move on to the next game on the 14th. Valentine's Day yesterday. USA versus Denmark, and this is another one where, the U.S. struggled a little bit. It actually looked a little dicey. You get further into that game, and they're down, and you're wondering, is this U.S. team going to struggle to even, get past this opening preliminary round here and go deep in? But thankfully, they wake up. Let's talk about it a little bit. Swayman starts in this game. He has himself a rough outing. I don't know if we're going to see him back between the pipes for the rest of the tournament.
I can't see that. I mean, that goal was... I don't think I've ever seen that before. I don't think he saw it either.
That's one way to put it, but The Danes go up real quick, 140 into the game, and already you're like, really, this is happening? Thankfully, though, the U.S. settles in. Boldy ties it up quickly on that wraparound. Then you have Jensen, the prayer behind the blue line, the one you're talking about, that puts Denmark up 2-1. And you're like, maybe Swayman wasn't the guy to put between the pipes here. But again, the USA rallies, and they finally take over. You get 2 goals off of face-offs from Brady Tkachuk and Jack Eichel, almost like they wrote those ones up as well. They were like 56 seconds apart, and then the U.S. steamrolled from there.
Yeah. That was another one where it was a case of a slow start. And I mean, I think they got to get ahead of that, because when you're going to play, if you're going to play a team like Canada, you can't have that sloppy start like they had. But I was glad they were able to get it together and get it going. Also, I don't know if you heard on the broadcast, they got a nice mention of Franz Nielsen yesterday.
Is that right?
That is right. They were talking about his shootout skills.
I missed that.
We're far familiar with.
How about that? That's excellent. Nice to see that Franz Nielsen's still getting the credit that he deserves, because what a phenomenal Islander he was. Obviously great with Denmark, and you're right, his shootout skills were second to none.
Yeah, I'd love to learn how to do that, the stuff he was able to do there.
So you get the 4-3 lead going into the third, because Denmark gets that late goal. The U.S. was up 4-2. And you think maybe they'll finally coast to the end here. And about 4 seconds left, Denmark makes it 4-3, and you get the nerves back. You're like, oh man, is this going to be a tough one against the team in Denmark, which really shouldn't be hanging with the U.S.?
Yeah, no, that's a game where you expect them to take care of business. And I think having them in that tight with them was a little cause for concern, but I wouldn't doubt that lit a fire under them to maybe wrap those kinds of things up and get to a better go with Germany here today.
Well, thankfully, Gensel and Hughes get on the board again. And 6-3, they hang on, they get the win. So if the U.S. wins today, they take their group, they'll automatically get into the quarterfinals. They will not have to worry about the qualifier round, because I guess that's one good thing for every team in this tournament so far. Nobody's getting knocked out yet. It's all about placement. So you get the top 3 teams, each group winner moves on to the qualifier, then the next best team in the standings will be the 4th, all getting a bye to the qualifying round. The rest of them get seeded. They're going to have to play against each other. We get to that elimination style where losing you're out.
Yep.
So we'll see what happens today. I know there was a couple other games on today. I think Canada smoked France today, right?
10-2. I mean, if
10-2.
Yeah, if you bet on anybody on Canada today, they probably scored.
So with that in mind, that actually has a big effect on today's game.
Yeah.
You look at that 8-goal differential. The U.S. has to smoke Germany by a ton of goals. So you're probably looking at Canada getting the first seed now. And as long as USA takes care of business today, they will likely end up getting the second seed and play a lesser team in the qualifying round.
Yeah, and I mean, that's what makes it tough yesterday, hanging in with a team like Denmark, having them a little too close with you. That's a game where you really wanted to get out ahead, win by 5+ goals in that game, and maybe challenge Canada for that top seed. But you know what? It's the past. They got to look at Germany and try to do what Canada just did today.
Absolutely, Jake. Now, did you get it real quick before we break? Did you get a chance to catch any other games outside of the U.S. games?
I have been watching a little bit. I actually had on in the background yesterday.
Okay.
Finland, Italy. Did you see the score of that game?
I know it was a lot to a little.
It was 11-0.
That's a lot to a little.
I think in the second period it was 31 shots to 3.
That's
it wound
tough.
up being 62 to like 15 shots.
Yeah, that's tough.
I've been watching here and there when I can. Obviously, the start times are a little different, a little hard at work. But when I can watch, I definitely watch. Also, with the women's U.S. teams playing lights out too as well.
Yes, yeah, they're looking like the favorites over there, which is fantastic. We'll talk more about that later.
Yeah.
But great stuff, Jake. Happy to be in the house here tonight at Borelli's. Once again, we got a packed house. Everybody's waiting for USA versus Germany. We're here to help get you ready. So we're going to take a quick break. When we come back, Cal Clutterbuck will be joining us here at Borelli's Tap Room. We'll be right back.
Attention all artists, storytellers, and creators of all kinds. It's time to make your content stand out above the rest. And Floored Media is the place to make your visions become a reality. Maybe you want to elevate your podcast and add some video, or turn that novel you wrote into an audiobook. Or maybe you just need the right space to produce your daily vlog. Whether you're a seasoned veteran or just starting out, Floored Media has the professional facilities, exceptional staff, and intimate atmosphere to breathe life into your creative passions at every step of the process.
Welcome back to Hockey Night in New York, presented by Ownwell. And speaking of Ownwell, if you own a home in Nassau County, you're always balancing what you want to do with what you can realistically afford. I've been thinking about a few projects around the house. Nothing crazy, just upgrades you put off when costs start adding up. And property taxes are always part of that equation. You're trying to plan ahead, manage expenses, and you're never totally sure if you're paying what you actually should be. That's what I like about Ownwell. They help Nassau homeowners see whether they're overpaying on property taxes, and they handle the whole grievance process process for you, start to finish. What really stood out to me is that you don't pay anything unless they actually save you money, which takes a lot of the risk out of it. The setup is quick. I did it myself in just a few minutes online and got an instant savings estimate. After that, they take care of the paperwork, the deadlines, even hearings if needed. So you don't have to spend your time figuring any of that out. If you want to see how much you could save, head to ownwell.com/HNINY. That's OWNWELL.com/HNINY. And you only pay if you save. Ownwell, proud sponsors of the New York Islanders. Welcome back to Hockey Night in New York, presented by Ownwell. It is now time for On the Line, presented by Razor, Kniff, and Launstein, ready to fight for you. And joining us right now, Islanders great, Mr. Cal Clutterbuck, now of the MSG Network. Cal, pleasure to have you in the show, man. How are you?
Oh, thanks for having me. This is great.
Absolutely. Packed house here at Borelli's Tap Room. Have you been paying attention to the Olympics so far?
I've been paying attention, watched most games. Yeah, I've been paying attention.
So what do you like out there? How's Canada looking for you?
Well, Canada looks like probably the best forward group ever assembled in the history of the game, maybe. The U.S. looks pretty good, too, and Brock Nelson's out there doing his thing, so it's got to be encouraging for Team USA fans. Unfortunately, as you guys probably know, I'm Canadian, so I'll be rooting for Canada. But
that's not
probably not in the right place for that right now. But.
Well, we're glad you're here either way, but let's talk about your Islanders career, hanging up the skates, and transitioning over to the broadcasting. Like, how smooth was that for you? And first, what was it like to get to that point of having looking at your career? You get in over 1,000 games. It's time to retire. You have a great career with the New York Islanders, and you end up with MSG. And just how smooth was that for you? And what's that experience like for you?
It's actually been pretty smooth. I took 2 gigs as a guest, really, on MSG last year, home opener, and then another home game in October. Really just for fun, something to do. I was still kind of on the fence of whether or not I was going to try and play somewhere, so I was kind of not ready to commit to a full-time gig. So, it was lucky for me as those 2 opportunities went pretty well. I then got a third, and as things progressed into November around Thanksgiving, I decided I no longer had a desire to even look. I was doing it. I was having fun on TV, and so I just decided to kind of commit to doing that a little more full time.
And it's nice to have a buddy in Thomas Hickey there with you, huh?
Yeah, it's huge. I mean, Thomas does such a great job, right? So it's
unreal. Both of you.
Yeah, it's just you get to watch him and pick up some things, and then Brendan Burke obviously also is top of the table when it comes to talent for play-by-play guys around the league, and Shannon does a great job of making sure that I look decent on TV. So. It's a great team there. They make me look good. They make it easy, and so it's been a pretty easy shift, honestly.
So Arthur Staple wanted me to bust your chops a little bit. Okay. I know he's been trying to get you on the show for a little while, and he says, you finally get onto the show, and it's the one he's not here for.
Well, I mean, he records on weekends at night, so I'm like, I can't be doing that.
Understandable.
A couple beverages here and there on the weekend, so it's always tough for me to commit to something at like 8 o'clock on a Sunday. But no, I'll go on Arthur's show. Arthur was great when I was here. He can be a pain in the ass, though.
Fair enough. He's been great with us, but we'll take that in stride.
But you're on the same side. That's why he's on the dark side.
So he did have a question for you that he wanted me to relay while you're here. So that being, what is it like to travel with the team now that you're not playing?
It was strange at first. It's a good question, Arthur, if he's listening. It was strange at first, but you get used to it like anything else, and it almost feels more familiar than it does foreign to a certain degree. You just get used to going to morning skates and watching and showing up at games, and you're doing a different job, but you're kind of still in the same mindset. You're still in the same places. So a lot of places I'm familiar with makes it a lot easier for me to navigate around.
Right on. So we talked about the fact that you hit 1,000 games. You're the all-time hits leader in the NHL with your buddy Matt Martin. And what would you say, though, would be either your greatest memory or greatest accomplishment playing in the NHL?
Oh, man. I don't know. Probably 1,000 games is the greatest individual accomplishment. Maybe the hits record, I guess. I don't know. I haven't really thought about it too much. Just making it there, honestly, for me was a big accomplishment. I never really thought it was going to happen, and then to be able to do it and play 1,000 and have a record. Who knows if that record will be broken? Ovi, if he plays another year, probably gets there. But should call him, maybe let him know that he could save one for the rest of us.
Right,
But no, it's just I think the longevity of my career and how I was able to adapt to different styles of play, different time periods, and stay relevant, stay an impactful player for a long time. That's probably the thing I'm most proud of.
So you were on some great teams in 2020 and 2021. Can you tell us a little bit about what made those teams gel so well?
Yeah, it's a good question. We had roles, first of all. We all had roles, and Lou used to call it the orchestra speech, but you know, he said if you're putting an orchestra together, you need a conductor, and then you need violinists, and you need drummers, and you need wind instruments, and if you're a drummer, you're supposed to play the drums. You don't want the drummer playing the violin solos, so don't try and be something you're not. And then again, on top of that, I think we just had a group of guys that had battled through a lot from 2013 when I got here to that moment. Had gotten pretty good through 15, 16, won a playoff series for the first time with really the core group of guys kind of intact. So we were very close as a group. We had a lot of like-minded guys. And then the guys that Lou brought in were also cut from a similar cloth, so it was easy for us to get along with each other. And, you know, I think the bubble actually really solidified our camaraderie and our team bonding. We spent 6-7 weeks on a hotel floor, stuck together, nothing to do, nowhere to go. And that can get long if you don't like the guys you're with. We had a blast. A lot of those guys will tell you it's one of the fondest memories they've had in their careers.
Well, speaking of bonding with that team, there's two guys in particular you obviously bonded with very well. Matt Martin, Casey Cizik is considered the best fourth line in hockey. Not a bad tag to have. Maybe you can just talk about that bond that you guys grew, not only playing on the ice, but becoming pals off it as well.
Yeah, I think we became pretty fast friends when I got traded here. Those two were obviously tight when I got here, so they were like two peas in a pod, and then I got thrown into the mix, and our relationship just became sort of brotherly. You know, I think Casey's the crazy younger brother, Marty's the even keel middle brother, and I'm the grumpy older brother, and that's just the way it is. And we just had a great time together on and off the ice. Obviously, we knew that the impact we could have on the ice if we just committed to it, and we did. And it was a nice run.
For sure. Now, I've heard you have a pretty good reputation of being a pretty good chirper out there on the ice. So, you have any clean chirps you can share with us here? Or if not, who is the second best chirper on the Islanders and maybe one of the best chirpers in the league?
Well, I don't have any chirps I can share because they're usually a little personal and usually pretty vulgar. So
right,
they have to hurt, right? Like if they're good chirps, they got to sting a little bit. But second best chirper, I don't know. I mean, Brock Nelson was pretty quietly good. Didn't do it often, but very witty, very quick. But it's kind of a lost art. There aren't that many guys that run their mouths very well these days. It used to be that, the whole game, the whole bench would be jawing at you, you'd be jawing back. And the game kind of changed and evolved away from that. These guys, a lot of these guys are buddies, and you get more ass tapping than you do chirping going on, honestly.
Fair enough. Was there ever a guy on another team that caught you off guard with a good one? You're like, damn, he got me.
Not off the top of my head. I mean, I kind of knew it was coming, so. I never really had one that was so original that it surprised me. I actually have a horrible memory for those types of things. So even if there was one, I probably just in one ear and out the other. But the famous chirp that everyone knows around here from Matt Martin is the "Go Dye Your Hair" chirp on Drew Miller in Detroit, and Shafe actually uses that one a lot on Marty and the guys, which is hilarious because I'm not even sure he was 5 years old when Marty chirped Drew Miller at that point. But no, it's a fun part of the game. I like it. I'm competitive, and everybody knows that guy in the pickup basketball game that is taking it too seriously. That's me. That's me.
Well, at least you're self-aware. You're willing to admit it, so that's good. That's good. So, speaking of Matt Schaefer, obviously completely changing the dynamic of this New York Islanders team. You have the privilege of getting to watch him every game, being part of the broadcast, probably traveling with him, right? You're getting to know him a little bit. Maybe you can just talk about the kid that he is and what he's brought to the franchise.
Well, I feel like I know him really well, and that's a credit to him because he's made an effort to just come sit down, talk to me, and hang out. Obviously, I spent a lot of time with Matt. He's living at Matt's house, so I see him quite a bit. And you get comfortable, but for an 18-year-old kid to be that comfortable and that forward as early as he was, for me, was impressive. And I think what you see is what you get with him, right? Everyone sees the real Matthew Schaefer, and And I think with a lot of kids who come in, people are wondering who these people are because they don't always show their personality. He's just a kid living his life. He's wearing his heart on his sleeve, and he's not shy to tell people how much he loves it here and how excited he is to be in the NHL and to be playing for the Islanders.
So with the Olympics, what are your predictions? Who's medaling this year?
The medals are tough. I mean, Sweden doesn't look as good as I thought they would. Finland is always that tough team that once the medal rounds start, I feel like they have a style of play similar to our 20 and 21 teams on the island. Very stingy. They play hard. A lot of role players. So they're good in the medal rounds. I feel like I might slot them in. Them or Germany maybe the Czechs in third, and then it's going to be, obviously, I think it's going to be Canada-US. I don't know if you could find a team in the tournament that can challenge either one of those teams. So it'll be, I imagine it would be a Four Nations rematch in the final.
Okay, that sounds good to me. And I'm going to put you on the spot in front of a lot of Americans. What's the final score today?
It's going to be a good game for the Americans.
Yeah, I think so.
I'm going like a 5 or 6-1.
Okay.
Something like that.
All right. I'd like to hear that. That sounds good to me.
It's been a lot of 5-0, 5-1 games, so... Although they are getting more comfortable with each other, and they might explode a little more offensive, but conservatively, I'm going to go 5-1.
All right, sounds good. Hopefully, Brock gets 1 or 2 there. But Cal, can't thank you enough for joining us here today, man. Of course,
my pleasure.
Really appreciate it. Hope you have a good time here today, and hope to talk to you again in the future.
Absolutely. Thanks, guys.
Thanks a lot, Cal. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that was the great Cal Clutterbuck, of course, of New York Islanders fame, and now of MSG Network, doing a great job there with Brendan, Shannon, Butch, and Thomas Hickey. We're going to take one more break. When we come back, we are going to What's on Tap.
When in need of representation, it's not always easy to know where to turn. But whether you've been accused of a crime or need to go to court, Razor, Kniff & Lonstein, attorneys at law, have you covered with over 100 years of combined experience. With offices in Manhattan, Mineola, and Suffolk, Razor, Kniff & Lonstein is an award-winning law firm specializing in criminal defense with additional expertise in business debt settlement, trust and estates, personal injury, and more. At Razor, Kniff & Lonstein, you'll have direct access to your attorney 24/7. Because more attentive service translates to better outcomes. You deserve legal representatives with national recognition and a strong track record of delivering results. And Razor, Kniff & Lonstein are ready to fight for you. Call 212-LAW-1500 or go to razorandkniff.com to schedule a free, no-risk consultation today. That's RAISERANDKENNIFF.com. Razor, Kniff & Lonstein. We win cases because we make your problems our problems.
Hey there, welcome back. We missed you too. Now kick up your feet and settle back in to Hockey Night in New York.
That's right, ladies and gentlemen. We are back at Hockey Night in New York, presented by Owenwell, but we're not kicking our feet up because we're hanging out at Borelli's Tap Room in Long Beach, getting ready for USA versus Germany. Packed house here. The taps are flowing. The food is out. Great stuff going on here at Borelli's in Long Beach. And now it's time for What's on Tap. So, Jake, you ready to talk about today?
Yeah, let's do it.
That's right. USA versus Germany. 3:10 puck drop. That is what's on tap. Cal Clutterbuck thinks it's going to be a 5-1 affair for USA. That sounds good to me.
Yeah.
Just get the win, get the points, get yourself into that qualifying round. You got about 7 NHLers on Germany. Let's talk about a couple of those guys. You got Seider, Draisaitl, Stützle, Grubauer in net. Jake, what do you see here in this Germany team?
Yeah, I mean, they're a pretty top-heavy team. I think after that top line kind of falls off a little bit, so they really need to work on neutralizing Leon Draisaitl. I mean, he opened his Olympic career with 23 seconds into his Olympic career with a goal. That's what he does. He scores goal. He's a big-time player. I think they need to shut him down as well as Stützle, and also watch out for Mo Seider on the back end, too.
Absolutely, and this is probably their toughest opponent out of the 3 that they're having in this preliminary round here. You look at Latvia, you look at Denmark, they have a few, NHLers among those teams as well. But you look at the quality of NHLers on this German team, of course, starting with Draisaitl and Grubauer. Now, you have some unfamiliar names when you go further down the roster. But we've already seen in these previous 2 games for USA, they were not cakewalks. Yes, the final scores were a little lopsided towards the end, but those weren't walks in the park for USA. So, you look at, what happened with those 2 games, and it just seemed like maybe USA was a little disorganized there, and maybe on the defensive end they had a little trouble there. They obviously have the firepower. They obviously have the guys scoring goals, but they get a little lax in front. Obviously, Swayman had some trouble. I don't know if you saw who was starting today. Are they going back to Hellebuck?
I didn't see, but I'm going to make an educated guess here that it's not Jeremy Swayman.
It's probably not going to be Swayman. You might see Ottinger in there. Maybe they give him one before the qualifying round. But maybe they go back to Hellebuck. I didn't see that. I don't know. Ed, did you? Hi, Ed.
Yeah.
Has no idea. That's all right. I don't know if they even listed it out there yet. But as you said, Jake, I don't think they're going back to Jeremy Swayman after the performance he had against the Danes. So we look beyond today's game, and we talked about it earlier how after these preliminary games are over, you're going to have a qualifying round for the teams that don't win their groups, right? Those top 4 teams. So that's going to happen on the 17th. You're going to get all 4 games in the same day, and then whoever wins those games has to play a back-to-back against these group winners in the qualifying round. So they're going to be tired coming out of those games. So again, USA winning today is a huge advantage for them because they get some days off, they get some rest, and they're going to be playing a team on the second end of back-to-backs. Now, you look at this situation here, and is there anybody you're worried about the USA drawing in that qualifying round if they do win?
Yeah, I mean, I think Finland or Sweden. I mean, they're teams that always find a way into those medal games.
Always.
And they always compete. They play a hard game. They're tough on D. I'd probably say Finland a little more. They had a sluggish start with the loss, but then took care of business yesterday. 11-0. They got their scoring touchback.
For sure.
They play a shutdown game, so I'd be worried about the Finns for sure. Sweden's another team that tons of NHL talent on that roster, so either one of those two, and as long as you could avoid Canada until the gold medal game.
Yeah, and it looks like that's how it's going to shape up. If USA takes care of business today, it looks like the path would be Canada-US, if they meet, would be in the gold medal game, and of course, that is exactly what we want.
Yes.
Now, if they get past the qualifying round on the 18th, the 20th is the semis. Again, all games are played in the same day, and then, of course, the final will be... the bronze medal game will be the next day on the 21st. That's a 2:40 p.m. start. And if all goes well, and USA gets into the gold medal game, hopefully against Canada, because that's what we want to see.
We want that.
That is going to be a breakfast at Borelli's, maybe brunch at Borelli's. That is an 8:10 a.m. start.
Yeah, that's tough.
On the 28th, the 22nd, excuse me. We're going to be back here if USA gets in. We're going to be here at the top of the morning to get ready and get everybody ready for that gold medal game. Now, we don't want to get ahead of ourselves here. There's plenty of games to play. They got to take care of business today. They got a couple more rounds after that. But, Jake, are you potentially looking forward to a little breakfast here at Borelli's Tap Room?
Absolutely. Breakfast at Borelli's means a possible gold medal for the United States, so I'm absolutely looking forward to it.
Now, are you like a pancakes guy, a bacon, egg, and cheese guy? What are we talking here?
I like
French
breakfast
toast?
sandwiches. I actually sausage, egg, and cheese in the past couple of years. Yeah.
All right, turkey sausage or...
Not real sausage. Yeah. What
All
about
right.
you?
Are you a Lynx guy or a Patty's guy?
Patty's guy.
I'm a Patty's guy too.
Yeah, good taste.
Look at that. So hopefully we'll be here for that. Either way, once again, puck drop 3:10 today. That is just over 25 minutes away if my math is right. And we're going to see some USA versus Germany. So that's going to do it for What's on Tap. Why don't we move on to Hero of the Week? That's right, folks. It is time for Hero of the Week, presented by Ownwell. Reduce your property taxes with Ownwell. So, Jake, happy to have you hopping on here for Hero of the Week. I'm going to let you go first. What do you got, man?
All right, well, it was very hard to pick because there's only 2 current Islanders playing. But
you could have picked anyone.
I thought I'd go with Bo Horvat here. I mean, we see what he does for the Islanders. I think it's so awesome that he has the opportunity to play and represent his country. He also got on the board in that first game. He scored again today. Like I was telling you before, I think everybody on Canada scored today.
Right, that makes sense.
Horvat's a guy that he could play in that bottom 6, and he plays shutdown defense too if he needs. He's a guy who will do whatever he's asked, and he'll provide a spark. He'll hit, he'll check, he'll score goals. It's so awesome to see Bo doing well for Canada up until they play the United States if that happens. But very happy to see Bo doing well for his country.
Yeah, and you look at, him getting on a little streak here with Canada obviously could bode well for the Islanders as well, right? We'll work in some Islander talk back into the conversation. He had the injuries. He came back. It took him a little time to get himself going as far as putting points on the board. He finally does just before we get to the break. I think he put 5 points up in his last 2 games, something around that. And, if he can kind of build off of his performance here in the Olympics, riding high off of that, he's going to be a key player coming out of the break for the Islanders.
Absolutely. With the way of him being an X factor for the Islanders, him getting to play best on best is the best thing for the Islanders right now, too. He's playing against top guys in the world, and he's perfecting his game. So if he could carry that, like you were saying, right back to the Islanders, I think they're going to be in a pretty good spot pushing for the playoffs.
No doubt he is going to be one of the leaders for the Islanders coming out of the break. Now, I'm going to give you all my hero here, and I'm going former Islander. Had to do it. Mr. Brock Nelson. We talked about his goals before. Easy pickings here. He's got the 2 goals versus Latvia. He gets another goal, an assist versus Denmark. So he's got 3 points in his 2 games so far. And he's been an absolute madman for Colorado as well. Ageless wonder right now, Brock Nelson.
Yeah.
Have you seen the memes of Brock Nelson? They showed like these pictures of like young guy like born in 2005. This guy born in 1996, and then there's a picture of Brock Nelson that says born in 1829.
Yeah,
he's getting
awesome.
a lot of crap for being old, man.
Yeah, no, I mean I think a lot of people were kind of unfamiliar with him outside of the Islanders until he went to a team like Colorado. There wasn't too much media attention on the Islanders before Schaefer, but I'm loving what Brock is doing. I'm really happy you picked him, by the way, too. That's kind of where I was leaning if you didn't. I'm hoping he could get on the board today, too. He's playing a great tournament. A lot of people were giving U.S. slack for picking Brock.
Right.
He's a guy who went there.
He's looked outstanding, and he's still as clutch as he was on the Islanders, and it's great to see him on this world stage, right, playing best on best. And he's still one of the best guys in the ice pot and goals. He's comfortable out there.
Easily, yeah. And he's got relatives who've won gold for the U.S. before, so let's make it a third in the family, right?
That's right. A lot of lineage there. So we're rooting for Brock Nelson in the USA. And I guess we can agree, right? Like, if the Islanders don't win the Cup, which would be unbelievable this year, Colorado would be a decent second there to get Brock and Taves a Cup.
Absolutely. I think a lot of Islander fans would be really happy to see Brock win a Cup. I mean, he put his heart and soul into Long Island up until he was traded. So, he still talks great about Long Island, too. I would love to see Brock raise a cup.
No doubt. We'll see what happens there, but either way, great choice on Bo Horvat. You got a current Islander and a former Islander, Bo Horvat and Brock Nelson as your heroes of the week, presented by Ownwell. Easy, low cost, and effective. Now, Jake, are you ready to take it to the Snake Den?
Let's do it.
Let's go to the Snake Den, everybody.
Welcome to the Snake Den with Jake the Snake Redanis.
That's right, ladies and gentlemen, it's time for the Snake Den with none other than Jake, the Snake Redanis. That's right, hanging out here. No Arthur, so buddy, you're in a full-time role tonight. How you feel?
Yeah, I'm feeling good, yeah.
You're looking good, you're feeling good. All right, man, what do you got for us?
Yeah, well, I mean, in the spirit of the Olympics, let's go around Italy.
Okay, let's go around Italy. Let's do it.
So, obviously, we know what's going on about the U.S. We've been talking about them a lot. Canada looks unbelievable. I mean, watching their games, it almost feels like it's going to be a little tough draw for the Islanders.
Yeah, maybe.
Especially when you see Connor McDavid start laying people out. I think you might be learning from Tom Wilson. They're playing on the same line.
Probably is.
And Macklin Celebrini. That's a cool line. Tom Wilson today, by the way, Gordie Howe hat trick in the Olympics. Got sauced in the game.
Oh, wow.
In a 10-2 game.
Really?
Yeah.
Now, is there any discipline after that or just for the one game?
I'm not sure.
Suspensions coming after that, right?
I don't think so.
I don't think so
was under the impression at first that you might get kicked from the tournament, but it doesn't look that way from what I was reading. But I mean, it's funny that he's just doing that in the Olympics now too.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Is there anywhere else you want to go here in Italy?
Yeah.
What else you got?
So Slovakia's looks pretty good. Juraj Slafkovský, he's the first overall pick 2022 to the Canadians. You remember about him boosting onto the scene was when he was playing for Slovakia back then. Crazy amount of goals.
Right, he's been great in the Olympics, right?
He's been playing awesome. They're a team that I don't know if they'll make too much noise, but it's someone to watch out for. They look like they really mesh and play a good game together. So keep an eye on Slovakia. Obviously, you got Sweden, Finland. We've talked about them. Those are teams that are always going to be competing for those medals. And some teams had slower starts than the others, but I'd watch out for Sweden, Finland, and then obviously Canada looks like a powerhouse here. But why can't we do some 1980 miracle here?
Yeah, why not? Miracle parts like a baby miracle.
I guess it would be like
a lot less on the line this time.
Yeah,
a little
definitely.
less political implications and all that. But it would be nice to get a second gold here for the U.S. team. Now, did you have anything else to add? Otherwise, I want to get your predictions on the medals.
I was actually going to talk about the women's.
Please, yeah.
They looked USA looks awesome. USA women's team. So they just beat Italy yesterday in the quarters, 6-0.
Okay.
Took care of business. So they're going to play Sweden on Monday at 10:40 a.m. And then Canada's playing Switzerland at 3:10. And then whoever wins those games is going to play for gold, and that'll be on Thursday.
Okay, all right. So USA is looking like the odds-on favorite here right now, right?
I would say so. It's cool too. Like Hillary Knight's still playing; she's been awesome for them. So it's cool to see the women's doing really well this year.
Absolutely. So why don't we get some medal predictions here for the men's? What are you thinking here?
Today, I liked Cal's prediction. I'm gonna go 6-0. Let's get a shutout.
Okay. All right. 6-0 for the game. Now give me your medals.
Medals. All right. U.S. is winning gold.
Of course, obviously,
Yeah.
yes.
We
We all know this.
Canada, silver, and Finland, bronze.
Okay. Finland sneaking in for the bronze. All right, yeah, you
Sorry,
know what?
Cal.
Fair enough. And you know what? Sweden has been struggling a little bit. We talked about that before. Listen, I know Arthur and I did some medal predictions in our last show, and I was a little down on the U.S. I put them at the bronze medal. I went Canada, Sweden, U.S., but with the way Sweden's been playing, I think I got to switch that up a little bit. I still like Canada for the gold. I know to the chagrin of everybody here and anybody watching from the U.S. perspective, but I just feel like the way it's kind of helped solidify that prediction because the way they played against the lesser teams here. Now, we really need to see them play against a tougher team like one of the Four Nations teams, right? Like whether it's Sweden, whether it's Finland, because you can't really measure where they're at playing against Latvia and Denmark, right? No disrespect to those nations, but clearly they're not on the same level as the Swedens, the Canadas, and the Finlands of the world. So I really want to see how they fare once they get to that quarterfinal round and see how they do.
You look at that roster, just top to bottom, it's unbelievable. You got Sid still playing too, and you got David celebrating. You see the different generations of players playing, which I think is so cool. A lot of people's first Olympics, and then you got Crosby with the golden goal, which I know we shouldn't be talking about. But that team just looks unstoppable. So that's going to be the hardest out for the U.S. if they get there, if they match up with them.
Yeah, I'm with you there. Either way, I love the international hockey. I love the best on best. I'm excited for today's game. I'm excited to see where everything else goes. Now, before we wrap up the Snake Den, was there anything else you had?
That's all I got.
You're good to go. All right, fair enough. So that will do it for the Snake Den. I'm going to tell you about Isles Fix, then we're going to take one more additional break. So, folks, Islanders Country, get your daily fix of Isles news, highlights, and analysis by subscribing to Isles Fix, the Monday through Friday Islanders newsletter sent directly to your inbox. Sign up for free or become a paid subscriber for added benefits at ilesfix.substack.com. And with that, we're here at Borelli's Taproom in Long Beach, packed house for USA Germany. We're going to take one more break. We'll be right back.
When in need of representation, it's not always easy to know where to turn. But whether you've been accused of a crime or need to go to court, Razor, Kniff & Lonstein, attorneys at law, have you covered with over 100 years of combined experience. With offices in Manhattan, Mineola, and Suffolk, Razor, Kniff & Lonstein is an award-winning law firm specializing in criminal defense with additional expertise in business debt settlement, trust and estates, personal injury, and more. At Razor, Kniff & Lonstein, you'll have direct access to your attorney 24/7. Because more attentive service translates to better outcomes. You deserve legal representatives with national recognition and a strong track record of delivering results. And Razor, Kniff & Lonstein are ready to fight for you. Call 212-LAW-1500 or go to razorandkniff.com to schedule a free, no-risk consultation today. That's RAISERANDKENNIFF.com. Razor, Kniff & Lonstein. We win cases because we make your problems our problems.
Thanks for giving some time to our sponsors. Ready to talk more Isles? The train rolls on right here on Hockey Night in New York.
That's right, ladies and gentlemen. The train rolls on here for Hockey Night in New York, presented by Ownwell, hanging out at Borelli's Taproom, packed house here in Long Beach, ready for USA versus Germany. And our best frenemy of the show, looking good here in his USA garb. This is a rare occasion where Islander fans and Ranger fans can come together and unite and support Team USA. We're friends today, buddy. How you doing?
And Coach Mike Sullivan, we can agree on that as well. So,
yeah, strange days.
Listen, it's a good time always at Borelli's. I mean, we always have a good time on your shows, so thank you for having me again, and I'm glad to be here. And let's go Team USA. I'm ready to get this game started already, right?
Yeah,
Absolutely.
we're getting close. So, Ed, have you been watching a lot of the Olympic hockey?
Yes, I have. It's been very exciting so far. Looking forward to it to keep going. Maybe we'll get an upset, not today, but maybe another one in the future. And we'll keep going to go Team USA.
Okay, so do you you got a dark horse in this tournament? Anybody you're looking at that maybe they can make some noise that wasn't expected?
I'm not sure.
You can say no.
What?
I said you can say no.
I don't think so. I think we're kind of seeing what we get, or we're getting what we see. And, it looked a little bleak for Team Finland, but they turned it around. I mean, Latvia looked pretty good out of the gate, too.
Yeah.
Some of these, smaller countries, they're still hockey countries, so they always come to play. And like I said, there could be an upset at any point, but so far so good for Team USA.
Yeah, and Czechnia's looked pretty good, a little better than expected. Maybe they'll make some noise here. But speaking of the strangers, have you been keeping your eye on those guys? How they been doing?
They've been doing good so far. JT Miller's line is buzzing, so I see a lot of Rangers fans, as usual, giving them some heat. But I think they've been doing well. They were out on the ice for a goal against yesterday. Not that great. I think JT Miller should have got out of the way of that one. But him, he's always trying to block a shot or throw his face in front of something. But I think they're doing well. They're winning the faceoffs they need to win. And JT Miller's doing very well on the fourth line with Jack Hughes, which I'm very surprised about, and your boy Brock Nelson. So
that is our boy.
I made a joke about I have to root for Brock Nelson. I got to root for Jack Hughes. That's hard to do, but we're gonna fight through it for at least another week.
Yeah, you got to put the differences aside, right?
Exactly.
It's a little annoying that USA also has the same colors as the Rangers.
Exactly.
Yeah. But we got to get through that. But speaking of,
they also get off to slow starts like the Rangers. It seems like
that's unfortunate. I'm sorry for that, Ed. But you brought up JT Miller's name, so we might as well get some Rangers talk in here real quick. Now, obviously, a tough season for the guys. We talked about it when we were here last time.
Yep.
And we got closer to the break, and I know that they were struggling leading up to that. And now I don't have the quote verbatim, but basically he was asked what's going on, right? He's like, well, what's the answer here? And he basically said something to the effect of, I don't know.
Yeah.
I got nothing for you. Now, he's the captain of this team. This was the no BS season. A lot of BS happening right now. What's your opinion on this whole situation?
Well, I made a joke with Arthur Staple last time, your co-host, that there's always going to be a little bit BS, right? In the New York in the New York media, no matter what.
For sure.
They're going to find something to talk about. I mean, listen, you want your captain to say a little bit more than I don't know, right? But I'm with them. They ask him the same question every single game.
Yeah, sure.
After every single game. And, sometimes saying nothing sends the message more to your team than saying something. If I'm on the team and I'm looking at my captain in that interview saying, I don't know, we just got to come back with a better mindset, I'm looking at myself in the mirror being like, what does he mean by that? So
Right.
the media is going to spin that as a negative thing, but as a teammate and as a hockey player, I'm looking at that as like, oh boy, my captain's pissed,
Okay, so let's swing it back to the Olympics here.
Yep.
How do you like USA's chances not only to medal, but to get gold?
Dude, I'm not going to lie. Canada looks very strong. It's going to be really hard.
Yeah.
It's going to take a lot of that sweat equity we talked about last podcast with Coach Mike Sullivan. I am rocking my shirt again underneath here, but I wanted to match you, Sean. Unintentional, by the way.
Looking pretty good, buddy. Svelte, if you will.
It's a good outfit.
But now I forgot the question.
All right, question was, how do you like the USA's chances of medaling and golding?
Right. Team Canada looks very strong. I think USA's got to kick it into a little bit high gear with the physical play. The Kachuk brothers really got to come out, and I think it starts today. Yesterday, I don't want to say they got bullied, but they didn't do any bullying. I think, especially against Team Canada, I don't know what the Tom Wilson situation is.
Sure.
If he's coming back or if he's getting suspended or something.
Right. We're wondering about that.
But no matter what, Canada's going to be a tough team to beat, and the only way to beat them is to bully them a little bit. And it doesn't really seem like USA is really doing that right now. In order to beat them or keep up with them, they're going to have to. But right now, Team Canada looks way too strong to even overcome. And I hate to admit it, but it's the obvious.
I agree with you there. Do you have a player to watch today for the U.S.?
For U.S.? Dude, I like to keep watch Brock Nelson, man. Like I said, I've always been a closet Brock Nelson fan as a Ranger fan,
Oh, okay.
So now that he's on the Avalanche, I can root for him a little bit easier.
Sure.
And especially for Team USA. But he's impressed a lot of people. And like I said, on that fourth line, that's what separates USA and Canada from everybody else. They have 4 lines. Like Brock Nelson, JT Miller, and Jack Hughes, they're first or second line players on their teams, or any team really, except for Team USA. So now they're just coming at you in waves. So I'm looking at that 4th line again to really make some noise.
Excellent. All right, so we only have about, 7-8 minutes to go before puck drop. So, Edzo, why don't we take it to Questions Brewing? Ed, you can hang out with us here.
For sure, I'm
I'm
here
sure
all
we'll have
night.
some more questions for you.
And now, it's time for What's on Tap. A look ahead at the island.
That's not true. But,
That's not true.
It's time for Questions Brewing. That's okay, buddy. It's just a button. So,
It is just a button.
So, Ed, how are you, man?
I'm great. I got another Ed up here with me. That's my favorite
there are
time.
multiple Eds. That's true.
Yes.
You and him make 2. So,
Yes.
how are we looking in the chat today? A little
Well,
light? Little light?
It's question brewing.
Okay,
We got
fair
one.
enough.
Question Brewing.
It better
We
be
got
a good
question
one.
brewing.
Better be a good one.
It's from DTMR. He says, should Swayman have been on the next plane home yesterday?
I mean, I'm not that upset with him.
I can't hear
Should
the
they
question.
send him home? Probably not. So he wants to know if Swayman should have been sent on the next plane home, obviously, after his performance against Denmark.
I don't know if he should be sent home, but I
a
think
little
he should
harsh.
probably be up in the press box. Depending on
It was a tough go. Ed, what do you think?
Listen, it looked tough. All the hockey guys or analysts that commented on it, even that one angle that you saw, I lost the puck. I mean, it must be hard for them out there. But at the same time, you're a professional goalie, so you should probably stop that one.
Didn't he say something about being colorblind on that play?
If he's colorblind, I mean, that's a completely different story. But, you know, we got to root for him, Team USA. He'll hang in there. I mean, Hellebuck's back in today. Is that even confirmed?
That's what we were trying to figure out. I thought maybe Ottinger could get in
Hey,
there.
I mean, I don't know if like the 2-0 is going to automatically get them to the next round or the bye or whatever. So maybe that's what they're thinking.
As long as they don't lose in regulation,
Okay.
they will get a bye.
Listen, Sullivan said they have 3 goalies that can get them wins. USA is not going to win a game with their goaltender. They have to play the game
That's
no matter
for sure.
what.
Yeah, that's
so
true.
if Otter plays today, I wouldn't be surprised. I don't think Swayman's playing today, that's for sure.
Probably not.
But I wouldn't be surprised if they give all 3 goalies at least one game.
I feel the
Okay.
same.
All right, fair enough. So, Ed, did you have any questions?
What about from the crowd?
We could do from the crowd, but
We could do from the crowd.
It's a little
Do we
loud
have any
here.
Arthur's
questions
not
from
here,
the
so
crowd?
there's no Arthur's anthem. Do you have a Shawnee songy?
A Shawnee Serenade?
A Shawnee serenade?
Sure, I'll go with one of those with Arthur being out. I'm going to go Olympic themed here. Everybody Wants to Rule the World
Nice.
by Tears for Fears.
That's a good one.
Not bad,
we don't
right?
have a pop-up for that.
No, unfortunately not. Didn't have time for the graphic. That's okay. They won't care about that. But I feel like that's a little appropriate. Now, Ed, we didn't get your medal prediction yet. Or the buzzer
Well, I
sound
mean,
there.
I feel
Yeah,
like
sorry
I
about
kind
that.
of gave you one.
Other than
Like
Canada,
I said,
yeah.
Canada's going to be really hard to beat. It's going to be really
So
hard.
give me your silver and bronze.
I'm just going to go with my honest opinion. I'll go Team USA silver, Canada gold. You know,
Okay.
they're a powerhouse, man. They look so good right now.
Okay, all right, fair enough.
Yeah.
And let's get you in on that. Gold, silver, bronze. What do you got?
For USA, I'm thinking silver.
Silver. Okay,
Yeah.
all right.
Yeah.
We're honest guys up
And
here.
All right,
It's
yeah.
tough.
Some very modest
And even
predictions
that,
here.
that might be a little. I might be leaning more towards bronze. But,
Wow.
But yes,
Wow.
I'll go to silver.
We might have
Okay.
to send you on a plane home after
No,
this.
no.
So then who do you got
Just being honest.
winning silver then? If they're winning bronze,
That's a good question. You know what? That's a great question. I'm just gonna say USA.
Fair enough.
We got
USA is going to sweep the medals. They're going to win all
It's either
3
third
of
or
them.
second, but I don't
Gold,
think it's
gold,
gold.
silver, and
a
bronze.
good
They got them
sleeper
all.
would be Slovakia. I think Slovakia is a good sleeper right now.
Yeah.
Slovakia and the Czechs.
Yeah.
The Czechs look
Yeah.
good too. Yeah. We'll see. I said it to Arthur last week. Finland always finds a way into the bronze medal game.
Right.
And they always got a shot at bronze,
Yep.
never gold or silver.
They looked really good. I mean, I know it was Italy yesterday, but they put the beating on them. So
Yeah.
They
when
did.
when they want to score, they got some good firepower. So you really never know.
I do wonder with missing Barkov how that will affect
That's
them.
tough.
Like, he's a big miss, but yeah, the Finns always are in there.
Either way, it's going to be fun to watch. Speaking of fun to watch,
What's your prediction?
Oh, you
can't-
wanna know what
can't-
I think?
You can't get off this that easy.
you want to know what I think?
Yeah. You're the host.
Sean thinks Italy for the gold.
So no, I don't. I definitely don't.
You were just talking to me about it.
However, that's a lie. That is a bold-faced lie. So as I went with Arthur, a week ago, I went USA bronze. I went Sweden silver, but I don't like how Sweden's been playing.
No, not right now.
So I might switch silver to, you know what? Let's go with the Czechs for silver. Why not?
All right, there you go.
Andre Palat. He's
Get
going to get a
Palat a medal.
silver, all right? We're going
Go with the
Islanders there.
experience.
And I got to give gold to Canada.
Yeah.
Oh, and you know what?
That's
I did have one question for you I wanted to sneak in before we go.
Okay.
Arthur and I were talking about, guys like Robertson and Caulfield being left off the USA squad. What's your opinion on that?
I gotta trust Bill Guerin. I know he's trying to build the right team. Doesn't seem like they're having any issues scoring right now.
Yeah.
I think all the buzz is going to
That's true.
happen in the gold medal or the semifinal game, right? If they don't score in those games, then you're going to hear all the buzz. But right now, EJ Raddick said it best on my show, or on our show. If you win, you did it right. If you lose, you left somebody off the roster. So I think the jury's still out on that. I personally think they built the right team.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah.
The Herb Brooks
well-balanced
mentality.
team.
Not the best players, the right players.
Exactly.
Yes.
We're going to find out if that's true.
I know. I'm looking forward to it.
And if it's not, on the next show, I'm going to bust your chops.
Otherwise, then I got to hear with the Ranger fans in my DMs
I'm
and
gonna
everything.
say, what the hell is Mike Sullivan doing?
all the Ranger fans saying, not rooting for JT Miller and Vinny Trocheck is beyond me, but whatever. That's besides the point.
That's a little strange. Well, that's a great note to end on.
It's crazy.
All right,
Let's
folks.
go Rangers.
So that's going to do it for Questions Brewing. That also means it's going to do it for the show. So first and foremost, I want to send out a huge thanks to Islander great and now of the MSG Network, Mr. Cal Clutterbuck. Excellent spot for him. He's in the house. He's hanging out for USA Germany here at Borelli's Tap Room in Long Beach. A big thanks to Little Ed of the Rangers Ed podcast, also hanging here with the squad. And a big thanks to Jake the Snake Radonis here, getting in the full show, doing a great job, buddy.
Thank you.
Excellent stuff. And of course, a big thanks to Edzo here running the board. Always does a great job. Always comes in with the smashing questions.
Yes.
All right, folks.
The real barn burners.
A big thanks to our sponsors, starting with Ownwell, official sponsor of the New York Islanders. Reduce your property taxes at Ownwell.com. Also, a big thanks to Razor, Kniff, and Launstein, attorneys at law. Nobody likes going to court, but if you have to, call 212-LAW-1500 for a free consultation. And folks, if you haven't already, please rate, review, and subscribe. That helps us out a lot. Rate, review, and subscribe the Rangers Ed podcast as
Rangers
well
Ed
if you want.
podcast on YouTube,
Tell
Instagram.
your friends.
Yeah, it's all good.
Tell your
YouTube,
friends.
Instagram, TikTok, the whole nine. And catch us live every Wednesday night at 7 o'clock on YouTube.
There you have it, Jake. Where can we find you on the socials?
At Jake Radonis, Radonis, on X or Twitter or whatever you're calling it.
Whatever I'm calling it, yes. You can follow myself on the Twitter at Shawnee Hockey. You can follow, and Blue Sky. You can also follow the show on all social media platforms at Hockey Night NY. You can check out the website at hockeynightny.com. What else? Nothing.
Let's
That's
go
it.
Team USA.
That's it. Go Team USA.
Play
We're hanging at
Freebird.
Borelli's.
Freebird.
Tip your bartenders. We're having a great time here. So for Jake the Snake, for Little Ed, for Edzo over here, I've been Sean Cuthbert. We've been Hockey Night New York. We will see you next time.
Love you guys.
Love you.